All right, so I'm here in the comfort of my own shop, and probably 40 yards away is my side-by-side. I'm just gonna sit in this chair, and let's see. I haven't tested this yet. It is so cool. Welcome to the Pokemon Squad. My name's John, and we're shining the light of Christ one ride at a time. Mictuning has hooked us up in this video with the 8-gang wireless panel, where we will be able to just click one of these buttons and turn on all of our accessories. This thing is going to be absolutely awesome. Thank you, Mictuning, for hooking us up. You can find this product in the description, and this is going to be awesome. I'm going to go in, unbox this for you, show you how, just very basically, to hook it up, and then we'll put it onto our machine. That's probably going to be a long, in-depth video, so hope you're ready for the ride. Let's go. All right, let's check out this wireless switch panel from Mictuning. It's wireless charger on this one, so this is like the new version. I watched several videos about this, and none of the videos I watched were exactly like this. One of the control panels was like a plug-in. You had to charge it, and it only lasts like every 3 weeks. This one, actually, in the little stand it comes with, looked like on the Amazon listing it had a charger built into it. So they're kind of, I guess, taking customer feedback and improving on it. So let's see. Here's our stickers. They send a lot of stickers. They don't play around with stickers. They are on their sticker game. If you like stickers, you'll like them. It's pretty cool. We could outfit a whole back of a Jeep with that. Oh man, they sent like a whole. Wow, that's really nice. Like a real deal user's manual. Let's check that out. I always like to show the user manual. Sometimes you're like, I got this one question, and you didn't answer it, but the user manual would show you. And so I'd like to show that. I'm going to show you how to hook it up as well. And it's pretty simple. In theory, at least, right? So that's the user manual. And I didn't show all the corners of the box. So this is the 8-gang. Just a gang of 8. We didn't need the 12. I don't have that many things on my ride. So right underneath it looks like these are all the buttons. So I'm going to show all these in case you're wondering, does this have this particular button cover? So it looks like there's 2 pages of them. They're thick too. What else we got? Alright, here's our actual gang of 8. I wonder if there's any charge already to it. No, don't look like it. I have to charge it a bit. Let's see. Please turn on power switch. Okay, so there's like a little power switch on here. Let's take that off. Switch it on. There, we do have a little bit of charge. So we can turn the brightness up and down. We can, I think, change the color. And of course we can just turn it off. Very cool. I like it. I mean, that's how kind of big it is. It's about as big as, it's not quite as big as, let's say, a modern day smartphone. If you held it sideways, there's kind of like a phone for comparison. So, but this is kind of a big phone. That just kind of gives you an idea, like, where is this thing going to fit? So that's nice. Let's see, certificate of inspection. Have our actual control box here. So go underneath our hood. The top's plastic, but the bottom is metal. Super cold. Looks like, I'm looking at this through the camera, so forgive me if it looks a little strange. So there's our control box. We've got if you want everything to run just with the vehicle's turned off and you still want to use your stuff, you'll have it on battery mode. If you only want your stuff to work when the key's on, do that. So you will, right here, plug this into a spot where only the key is on. We'll show you all that in a little bit. This goes for the antenna. Let's see. I'm not sure what that box is, or that button is. Looks like you come with some extra fuses as well. A bunch of accessories in here. Got a screwdriver. Looks like you can charge your control box over here on the side too, if you wanted to. So if you did only want to just charge this sometimes, then that would be perfect. Because if you want it to charge in our little stand, we'll have to hook it up to a power source somewhere. Where is the little stand? Here it is. So you would have to plug this in somewhere to get a charge on it. So if you didn't want to bother with that, then you could just plug it in by itself. Very cool though. I'm going to be charging it through that. I don't care to do it the other way. So we've got our battery connection, big fancy looking fuse. What else we got? Zip ties. In order to make that accessory only option work, you've got a little fuse tap. Just find a fuse on your machine, take it out, stick this in, and then this will act like your fuse, but this will carry power to your little box. And this connects into the control box, and this little wire connects to your fuse tap. We've got an antenna, so you can get some, far away reception. And all these look like different brackets you can use to mount this thing. The box, actual fuse box, probably mounts with this, and then the rest of them probably go to this. Now, in my videos, I like to kind of show you a very basic setup of how it works. And so I am going to do just that. So I've got my battery over here. We set up kind of a little test thing, and I'll show you exactly how it works. You know what? I think we can just do it all on camera. I tried to be prepared. Let's set some of this aside. We will need our control box. We need to hook this up to a positive and a negative for our battery. Let me show you how this would normally work. This is my battery here, just a positive and a negative. Whenever I allow power to get to my light, it comes on. There's no switches or anything. It's just connected right to it. Just comes on and off whenever you touch it to the positive and the negative. And so what we want to be able to do is turn this on with this. So our fuse box needs power. So that same battery connection, I'm going to take off of my light, and I am going to put it on to our little control box. This is what I'm calling our control box, not our actual switch panel. So now I've got a positive and a negative. I'll switch it off. I'm going to hook it up. As such, I'll use their screwdriver. Why not? It's nice and handy. Seems fairly decent. Not saying it's as good as the one that you've got in your collection, but it's good enough just to do this. So now you just imagine you're doing this under the hood of your ride, and we will do that in a minute. I'm going to hook this up into my side-by-side, and we're really going to see how it works. I'm actually pretty excited about this. Alright, swap it around. On your personal ride, this is going to go straight to the battery, so it'll be red and black. But you can just put the black on the frame. It doesn't have to go to the battery. I'm probably going to be hooking this up to the positive connection on my winch. That's the easiest kind of direct source to the battery. on my ride. Okay, let's turn this on, see if it explodes. And I don't know how to tell if it's on or not. So battery mode. Okay, there it is. See this light? It won't cut on if I don't have something going to this accessory. Now if I plug this in and hook it up to this wire, I guess we can go ahead and just show you how that works. Alright, so it's on accessory mode only, but it's in, oh, now it's in accessory mode only. Now if I actually touch this, I think you can see that little light. This is like me turning on the key. So I turn the key on, my accessory light comes on. But if I have it in battery mode only, it'll just be on all the time. And so this can always have power. Now, what's the ups and downsides to that? Well, if you have an accessory mode, you won't ever drain your battery if you don't leave your key in the whole time. And so that's good. But the downside is if the key isn't on, you can't use your stuff. All right, so here we've got our light. I'm going to cut the battery connection off. So we just need to pick one of these. You got a 30 amp, a 20, a 15, and a 10. This will really matter. How much draw does your particular item use? Now this little light isn't going to use anything. And so I'm just going to put the negative, this little negative slot here, the positive in the positive slot. Let's just stick it right here. We'll just do one at a time. Sorry, it's out of focus. We're just kind of just trying to pinch that wire. There we go. Stick this one in here. See if we can just pinch this wire in between two pieces of metal, just to get us a connection. Alright, I can feel it. Okay. And then we got our light. So, normally you'd have to run wires to your battery, to a switch inside of your cabin to get this going, and you would flip your switch. But now this is already all here. The only thing you needed to do is just run 2 wires here and put this light wherever you want it. Now you need more wire than this probably to get it where you need it. That's it. That's all there is to it, in theory. Now you've seen how my theories have gone wrong. So I want this on battery mode. And so let's see if we can turn this on. I don't know which one this would be tied to. We'll find out together when this light comes on. There it is. This isn't plugged into anything. One thing I've got, battery going into this thing, and then this plugged into one and coming out, and I push the button. And now I would put a sticker on here that said dome light, because that's what this is going to be. I'm going to make these dome lights in my ride. And so if I recall, you can hold this button down, and then you can program one of these. So I want it to be that. And I think you hit the power off. Now it only comes on when you push the button. So when would this be good? I'm thinking like a horn. So boop, boop, boop. Only comes on while you're holding the button down. And, okay, so I was pretty close. We're going to look here. We hold down the button. I was trying to make it more complicated than it was. So blue is toggle, red is on and off, and so purple said it was flash. So let's try the flash. That's pretty cool. So on this button, whenever you push it, it's always going to flash. So let's try it again. And now let's do the green option. That should be strobe. And now you get like this wild effect. So you can do that with anything. whether it be your light bar or, you know, whatever you hook up to this thing. You can make it do something crazy like that. That's so cool. You can't really do that with just a normal switch. And so now we're just back to on and off. That's simple. I mean, you need a positive and a negative from your battery, and then run one of your things to one of these positive negatives. Push the button. That's it. Now we're going to do this on my side-by-side and just see how that turns on. That's so cool. Easy enough. All right, so we're outside. We're installing this on our Uforce 800 XL. Absolutely love this machine. Hard to get it all in frame. And of course, the first thing we're going to do is pop the hood. I think you can imagine that's where we were going. Now, why exactly would you want one of these? It's really for wire simplification. You just really need to just run a positive and a negative, just like right from your light bar, just straight into this box. You not have to worry about hooking up like a switch in here, trying to figure out how to get the wire from here to there. You don't have to do any of that. You just hook it up to your battery, run your wire straight down through here into that, and then click the button on the inside. Now, that's pretty nice. Now, I have right now all my stuff hooked up to this bus bar. This bus bar is nice, but as you can tell, it gets a little messy looking in here, and there's stuff I want to hook up that I don't want to hook up a switch for. I've got this battery powered dome light, but I do want something hardwired. That means I'd have to buy a switch. Now, Mictuning in our last video sent me these amazing lights. Now, they also have a daytime running light mode, and they have an amber mode, but that would be 2 more switches to hook up to this thing. You can see the wires kind of dangling there for that. But with this, I'll be able to, I'm going to put on one of those buttons a hazard sticker, and I'm going to program it to strobe. So I'll be able to hit the button, and this thing will just strobe, and I really only had to run just 2 wires to the front of this. So like I said, I'm really excited about this whole deal. It just makes everything a lot easier. We just got to get it hooked up first. So first thing we want to figure out is, you know, where are we going to put our box at? Let's come over here, and this is our mount. Just kind of figure out where we would put this thing. All right, so I think I've figured out where I'm going to mount mine at. You can mount yours wherever you want, but you know, I'm trying to figure out where I'd put mine, and the clearance is close, but I put mine right up top, right there, just kind of almost floating over everything else. I actually used this right here to kind of pulled it out a little bit and put my little mounting plate into there, and then I just took 4 of these little dudes and just drilled into this plastic, and it's on there good. I've got just a hair of clearance. I wouldn't want to sit on this thing, but just if I did, there's enough flex here too that wouldn't matter too much. The lid does come off with a little bit of a finagle. Now I will have to, because the way I've done it, run my positive power kind of through this slot here. And I don't see that being a big deal. If it is, we can change it. So we're going to run our positive and our negative straight down in there, our positive straight down in there, and then of course we'll run our wires from the side for here. We'll see what it looks like. So let's go ahead, hook up the positive. Like I said, I'm going to steal off of this right here and just come straight up to this positive. And then on my negative, I'll probably find a bolt, maybe this right here, and just bolt it down to a ground. I guess I can use the one on the winch as well. I think it's that one right there. So let's go ahead and get power to this thing. I know this might seem like a little bit, but once you get this block hooked up, most of the work is done. All right, so Just got my negative hooked up here with the cables provided, positive there. They just go right through here. The loop around in there, you can see the big fuse that it's included in, and it just hooks right up to my positive and my negative on my winch block. How do I know it works? Because I can see that light. Now, if I put it on accessory mode, there is no light. Now we can wire that little piece, goes right there, and then connects into the fuse block. I'll show you how to do that now. All right, so we will just reach over here, pop open this fuse box. You can look at the lid and see what we've got. Now, you can look at this and pretty much figure out which one of these would be on only when the key is on. And in fact, just about every one of these are like that. And so we will look at our options, pick which one we decide. I'll show you which one I pick in a minute to make sure it works. We'll take that fuse out and we'll stick it in the slot right here. This other little fuse is for this connection. This fuse right here is for your actual connection on your vehicle. We'll take this part, plug it into our control box. This little part right here, now all I can see is puppies. It will go into that wire there, and we'll have to kind of crimp it together. So I'll do that and show you what it looks like. Okay, so we'll clip our wire in here and I'll just feed it through, and then we want to pick one of these fuses to tap into. Now I chose this one right here. You say, why'd you pick that one? Because it was the easiest one to get to as far as clearance wise. Now, easy way to check, which one of these is going to be on. Well, here's our wire and we plugged it into our little box. At the very top of each of these fuses are two little metal pieces. You can, with the machine off, with the key off, touch it. And, sorry about the focus, if this is a battery on all the time, then when you touch it, this light won't come on. Now I just turned my key on. Now if I touch it, you can see that it comes on. So I know that is a fuse that is only on when the key is on. Touch it again. Sorry, it's hard to look at two places at the same time. And so that's an easy way to tell. I'm just going to crimp these two pieces together, and then we'll start hooking up some lights to this thing. All right, so the key is on and the light is on. If I turn the key off, that light will go off. Now that's completely optional. You may not care about your stuff coming on only when the key comes on, but that's how you do it. And so you want it only when the battery's on. Now it will always be on. You'll actually have to turn off your little switch panel. So this thing's ready to go. The only thing we have to do now is just feed it our accessories. All we have to do now. So I'm going to start feeding it accessories, positive and negative. If you've got something with a lot of power draw, put it in these big ones. If it's something little like that little dome light, put it in this. So let's get it going. All right, so let me show you what I'm thinking about mounting this thing. Now I drilled just a little hole in this, and this thing charges by USB. I'm gonna find a way to tap into the USB here from the other side, because I want this thing to just look like it came like this. Now there's some brackets that you can have where this thing will tilt and stuff. I want it just absolutely flush, just like that. I really think that'll look good. So I'm gonna find some really flat headed screws and just drill right into here. Should just hit these buttons. These are just dummy terminals, so it won't matter. And then this thing will just be sitting perfectly flush, and you just slide that thing in and charge it. I think it's gonna look great. So let me see what I can do. All right, so got it wired in. this is what it looks like. If I slide this out, you can see I just put 2 screws right through there. Probably would have recommended me using the mounting bracket, but I really wanted that flush look. I know it's kind of ugly, but a little bit of black fingernail polish make that look like new. The wire that comes out of this, like I said, goes into one of these blank switch panels right here. You might be able to see, just goes right there through that corner, and it actually pops out right here. And so I just kind of leave that stuff in there, and whenever I want to charge this thing, I can just pull it out and plug it in right there whenever I want to. There is absolutely 0 cables that go from this panel to the engine compartment. That's crazy to me. Second, I've put some of my stickers on. Got some hazard lights, and I'll show you those in a minute. I say it's tray lights. Now you wonder, how do these stickers stay on there? Good, they do. I wanted this to say cargo lights, and I put this one on instead, and I can't get it off, so I'm going to do some finagling. But it's neat. I thought you'd have to turn this on and then do it, but actually as soon as you touch one of them, the whole thing comes on. That's really just to turn it all off. And if you do turn this on, it remembers what you had on. It's pretty neat. And so here I'm actually using the strobe function. And so you can check that out. Anything you have, whether it be the light bar or anything, you can use the strobe function with. That's so neat. You can use the flash function. It wouldn't be hard at all to pretty much do a street legal kit just with this box and a couple of lights. And so let's see what we've got under here. Now, I went ahead and put some of my wires in this wire loom. Look how fancy that makes it look. I'm gonna get every wire under there covered with that wire loom eventually. And I'll leave a link in the description for that. Let's just pop our little lid here. And this is what it looks like. Underneath, got that positive and negative. That little red wire, the little skinny one, goes to our fuse box. This is going to that backlight, and that yellow wire is going to those hazards that are flashing. Now, I think you might be able to see it. You see that light flashing? That's pretty neat. That's how you know which one's working. In fact, if you're not sure which one of these is going to correspond to the button inside, just push that button, and each one of these has its own red light indicator. I haven't even put the antenna on yet. I guess I can do that. But I haven't been real far away from this, but the range is still pretty good. And so yes, you can just grab this and just turn it on and off just with a click of a button. How cool is that? This is the coolest thing, guys. This is an absolute game changer. I really do believe that. No wires go from here to here with this panel. That's absolutely amazing to me. So I'll take this out, I guess, into the darkness, and I'll click these buttons and you can see it work. But I mean, how awesome is this, guys? This is really something you need. I wish this might have been the very first mod that I did. That way, you know, I wouldn't have had to worry so much about running these wires. Now, see if you can see. Also use that wire loom up here. There's a bunch of wires running across there that I didn't want to see. And they're all inside that wire loom. It looks so, you know, nice and professional. So definitely recommend, you know, getting that with your wires that you run. But it's so easy now to hook up something to this. If I want a light bar, I just run 2 wires to this thing and the light bar is ready to go. And so it's that simple, and you just, you know, hit the button, put a sticker on whichever one you want it to be on. Like I said, absolute game changer, guys. That's so cool. How could you not like that? It's super professional. You can see the difference, wire loom and no wire loom. So definitely going to get that covered up. Makes a big difference. Mic tuning. I just, guys, I know that it sounds like I'm just making this up. This is amazing. This is an absolute game changer, and I wish I would have had this a long time ago, because this is fantastic. I can't believe it. You got to get one of these. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thank you, Mictuning, for supporting this channel and just giving us an absolute banger of a product. This thing is absolutely nuts. I'm going to get a horn on here. I'll probably put my radio on here so I can just cut it on and off with that button. What else should I get on here, guys? Just let me know in the comments. And for real, this thing, it really is worth it. You know, it seems kind of expensive, but I really wish I would have went this route to begin with. Just, it makes it so much easier. Whenever I install something else, it's literally just going to be a positive and a negative, and that's it. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, Jesus loves you so much, he died for you, and all the honor and glory goes to God. Good night, good fools. God bless.